What's up my YouTube friends, Inspire CP3 here. In this video I'm going to discuss details on the 2008 through 2012 Honda Accord flip key mod. Going to be going over what's inside the key, answering the most commonly asked questions in the comments, and what I like about it and stuff like that. Alright, let's get her done. Okay, so first I'm going to start with commonly asked questions in the comments from my previous video on this key. And the number one question that I get is, where do you get this wonderful little piece of equipment? eBay.com, and I'm going to tell you how to find the seller that sells this wonderful thing here. So in the main page on eBay, you're going to see the big search bar to search for wherever you're looking for. I'm going to just kind of zoom in on this. Now, towards the right of the blue search button, you're going to see in small letters Advance. So you're going to click on that, and then it's going to bring you to the advanced search page. Now, towards the left of the page, you're going to see this box section that's going to say items, stores, and members. In the members little section, you're going to click Find a Member. And afterwards, it's going to bring you to the page to enter the member name. You're going to enter RT Way, and this is the guy that sells this. So you enter his name, and then afterwards, it's going to ask you to enter one of those security key codes. It's a few numbers. Then click Search, and it's going to come up with an exact match for the name you entered. So then you're going to click on the name, and then it's going to bring you to his eBay store, and then you can start searching the store for precisely what you're looking for. Now, another thing that I got from people is they ask, do they have this key for the Honda Civic, the Ridgeline, the previous generation Accord, which is the 7th generation, years 2003 through 2007. Yes, he has all that stuff. And let's see. Going on to people asking, where do you get the service done? How much does it cost? Stuff like that. You have to get it done at a Honda dealership because they have to use their diagnosis system to have the programming done. The service is $100 and plus whatever tax and fees, and I think I paid like $114 or something like that. Key cutting. This is a little something important, and somebody said this in the comments about, I think he had the key cut, and the key cutting wasn't very successful, and what's the secret to it, and whatnot. The only thing I could say, what will have a very successful key cutting is using a key that you don't use. Now, obviously, when you buy your new Honda, you get 2 of these, and one of those little valet keys that has the gray little handle. Now, the reason behind that is if you give the dealership a key that you normally use to have it copied, what happens, the machine traces around the edge of the key. Now, over time, if you're using a key that you normally use, what's going to happen, shit is going to build up all along the side here. Now, the dealership, they do use like a steel brush to clean up the edges, but sometimes that won't entirely be the solution. So my best suggestion, give them a key that you never use. Nice, clean, just fresh. So that's my ultimate suggestion right there. I'm trying to think what else. Some other questions that I could think of. Oh, another suggestion, and actually this has happened to me. When I was calling dealerships to schedule an appointment, I told them, I have an aftermarket key that I want to have cut and programmed. Well, first dealership told me to pretty much go fuck myself. And I called another dealership, and I didn't mention anything about an aftermarket key. I just said I want to have to schedule service to have a key cut and programmed. And then I brought it in, and they didn't give me a hard time. They did the service, and everything was very successful, pleased to say. So that's another little suggestion I want to throw out to you guys over there. Okay, now I'm going to go over what's inside the key. And I was actually very shocked to see what was inside here. Now, this is actually the old shell from my other key I just showed you. Other than that, all the internals were transferred over. Because I dropped it on the ground a couple of times, and then what really did it was fixing my grandmother's car, radiator replacement. I put my keys on top of her hood and drove off with them on the hood and hit the ground. It might have possibly got ran over, who the hell knows, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to see if I can replace the shell. So the seller was able to sell me a new shell for 20 bucks, so that was pretty cool. Now, the only thing that's kind of weird about this is you have to remove the emblem in order to get to a screw here, and what I use is an X-Acto knife. Now, I just gently put this on here, but you just pry right in the edges, dig it in there, and just, like, you know, lift it up. Oh, and also what's cool, you get a red Honda emblem, so that's pretty cool. So then afterwards, you know, you got the screw exposed. Screw down here, and then take it apart. Oops. Okay. Oh, just a little heads up. If you were ever to take this thing apart, it's spring loaded over here. So when you open up the shell, it's going to go brrrr. So just kind of give you a heads up on that. Just so you don't lose your spring and whatnot. One thing I was very pleased to see that there's actually a factory Honda remote in this thing. I was actually very shocked to see that. Now, the way this whole setup is, excuse me, there's a immobilizer chip that's wedged in this little section right here, and kind of like seen on the previous generation Honda Accord keys. Now, what the seller did, he removed. Now, this is a remote from a current generation Accord, and what's different from the other ones is the new ones have an immobilizer chip built onto the circuit board. The old ones didn't have this kind of setup. They just had the immobilizer chip, you know, somewhere. I don't know. I think it was like down in the bottom corner here or something like that, or up here. I can't remember. But you see what I'm talking about. So when I took everything apart, the remote and everything, he removed the immobilizer chip over here because that will actually cause interference. So pretty much the setup we have here is kind of like, you know, the previous, like I said, the previous generation Accord, even some old Acuras. I know the Acura, I think it was the previous generation Acura TL. The immobilizer chip was separated from the remote. So that's pretty much what we have set up over here. Very nice. So that gives you guys a good idea what you're looking at. So overall, I've been very, very pleased with the product. I've been using it for almost 2 years now. Never had any issues. Also, another thing nice too, the buttons never faded out on me. The key is pretty solid. Not too much play after using it. So overall, definitely highly recommended. Alright guys, hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope you find everything that I said was useful, answered questions and stuff like that. Alright guys, y'all have a good one. Peace out.